So, Chief, we were still talking about your tenure and the challenges that you encountered.
Right.
Would you say in your first year you had no challenges? Second year, no challenges. Third,
You know,
if
you are using the word challenges in such a way that it may be misleading.
Okay, please correct.
There
Yes.
is no government without a challenge.
Yes, we know that.
So, but if you begin to prioritize,
I'm not prioritizing. I'm just saying, can we have those things that?
If you want to prioritize it, categorize. Okay. Let me use the word categorize.
Categorize, not
It's the same thing when you categorize.
Because we talk about your achievements, and those achievements are really plum achievements. They will last eternity. You know the civic center will be there forever. We are operating relatively. The Indians say that only the earth and the sky last forever. Every other thing is temporary. Yes. So the civic center is there in concrete and cement, and the area house is there. The airport is coming up. These things were accomplished in your tenure. They are signal achievements which nobody can take away from you.
Within our tenure.
Yeah, so we are talking about the things that would have been, to balance it. What are the things that would have been, let me say?
The main challenge, like I said again,
yes,
was the plotting of a coup by the guy we installed as Iwe,
yes,
with some bad eggs of UMUERI. Even those that attempted to commit suicide in their youth were co-opted. Do you get what I'm talking about? Okay. So it's a big challenge because you cannot build and destroy at the same time. Man, and I've been promising him that.
Yes.
So it's a big challenge, and that challenge will remain a long time.
Yes.
UMUERI has 3 quarters mainly.
Yes.
So when you come and break their table, it is a trinity. Even in the biblical form, when you break a trinity, you need to go years trying to build it.
Yes.
The confidence factor.
Yes.
The easy factor. If easy goes, and if Ikenka goes, and if it goes, where is UMUERI? You know, people that cannot see beyond their nose, acting as lords. Nah, they got broken if any know. Eh? Okay, for Lucha Nako, maybe. They are the things that you would like your children to have, and have, and have, and have. Eh?
Okay, Chief, now we've talked about your tenure. We started from contemporary times and we are going back, and then we will now come back to contemporary and move a bit into the future. Because I know that all these things, like we established from the beginning, is about the future. Yeah. All that you and I are striving after is to use the past to understand the present, so that we can work in the present for a better future, where the things that we are regretting in the past will not be present. That is our common goal, right? So now I want to look a bit to the past, to the tenure before you, the years before your tenure as the President General of UMUERI. What would you say those years were like? Your tenure started in 2015, right?
2016,
17, 18, and 19. 2016. Okay. So there was a tenure of 4 years starting 2012 before that, right?
No, there was an amendment on the Constitution. I did the first 4 years in the history of UMUERI.
Okay.
Before it was 3 years.
It was 3 years. Yeah. Who was your predecessor?
Late Henry.
Okay.
Chief Henry.
Okay. So what would you say were the...
But if you want to use predecessor in terms of non-elected, it will be Chike Odili, who was chairman of the caretaker committee. But if you want to use predecessor in terms of elected,
yes,
then it will be Henry. Then after Henry, you now have another caretaker in the person of Chief Vincent Okoye from Unei. But before then, Godi Obidike. Then if you take away Godi Obidike, you go to Enyi. And Enyi, they let Enyi.
Yes.
And then if you go back still, you get Samo Madi, who temporarily filled the position and ran away. Okay? Out of fear from those actions of the then 30 men.
You know, myself, I'm coming from the standpoint of a young UMUERI person who is trying to understand. I'm not coming from the legalistic position of elected or not elected. To me, it's a continuum. Okay. If an elected government hands over to a caretaker committee, if the people in their wisdom, considering the prevalent conditions, felt that it is better to have an interregnum filled by a caretaker committee, I, in my novice position now, as somebody trying to understand and to be able to pass history that makes sense, you know, to those people who are either not having the facts available to them at that time or who are not born. So I am not seeing the difference. I am not attempting to see the difference between an elected government and a caretaker non-elected.
If you do that, you are doing injustice to yourself and to your children.
We will come to that. But the point I'm making now is that in asking the question who your predecessor was, I only wanted to know, you know, the conditions, what UMUERI was like in the years before your advent. So you are saying that there was a 3 years of whom before yours?
You don't like, you categorize caretaker and elected.
Yes.
I don't.
Who was the caretaker before? There was a caretaker government before your own. That was the one before you.
Yes.
And then there was an elected before Chiko Dili,
yes,
who was elected.
Yes.
So why was there need for a caretaker committee to take over from an elected government before handing over to you as an elected government? Why was there need for that aberration? Because you are seeing a caretaker committee as an aberration.
It is an aberration.
So, anyway. Just a moment. You are saying that this caretaker committee before your own, how long did it last?
I don't know how long they lasted, but I don't think they lasted more than 6 months, I think.
Okay. The elected government came in, ended, and the caretaker came in for about 6 months. Let's accept 6 months, and then handed over to you.
Yeah.
And then you were in office for about 4 years. Yes. Then handed over to a caretaker.
I have not handed over to anybody. I will not. Remember?
It's still
remember.
Let's just take it that you were there. We will come to that. We'll come to that. That's a new one on me. That's a new one on me. So we will look at it again.
Let me educate you a little bit. This is an interview.
Yes.
Okay? And it's for posterity.
It's for posterity, not for me. Not for me.
Now, in between those wulu sending to government, complaining to government, Igwe took us to Oka, to a panel of inquiry, judicial. Are you getting me? And our UGA lawyer wrote to the government, to the so-called caretaker committee, that we will not hand over until an election is done.
We will come to that. Well, I'm talking about the one before you. The situation before you came in.
You were asking me the question, handing over to a caretaker committee, and I'm trying to give you the background why I have not handed over.
No, I didn't ask a question about that. I made an assumption because I did not know. Because I did not know.
No. It will be distorting.
No problem.
Yeah,
you are here to correct me, and since it's an issue, we will take a question on that. We will come and take a question on that since it's an issue. But the point I was making was that there was an elected government. Then, for some reason, caretaker government came in.
Yes, starting from
and that caretaker government handed over to you.
Okay.
That caretaker government handed over to you. What were the conditions that led to an elected government handing over to a caretaker government instead of an elected government before you?
I think the elected president was looking for an extension of tenure.
Obasanjo's third term.
The equivalent. You know, power intoxicates.
Yeah, absolute power.
We served and we were asking our people to hand over to an elected government. And Igwe and Co has been thwarting it, sitting on it. Right now, we don't have an elected government.
You are still bringing us, we are looking at the condition before your tenure. Yes. What led?
That's what I thought that happened. Extension of time in office by the then President General, Chief Henry. The same thing happened when Gotti had his own caretaker committee, also imposed. Gotti Obidike. Before Henry now.
So we've been having this sequence of caretaker committees coming and going.
Yes.
Okay, one elected government.
Man.
So it has been a change. It's been a kind of a tradition among our people.
It is the myopic thinking of one person.
One person?
Yes, Igwe.
But we're talking about 4 or 5 tenures now.
Yes,
before
he became Igwe now, he's still the richest guy around town. Okay? And he was a party treasurer under Gotti. You need to put these things in perspective. When he felt like he's been sidelined in the caucus meetings, he went to the government. He said, government is where his market is because he's into construction. Okay? And he knows how to push his files through. They set up a caretaker with Vincent Okoye. Okay? Then after that, Henry now came in. Then after Henry, then Chiko Odili, caretaker. You know, then he wanted to do the same thing with us by trying to rubbish our efforts. But God willing, and the support of UMUERI people, we couldn't. So the caretaker that is now sitting is still sitting, but as much as you can with all your education, is caretaker committee and elected government? The answer is no.
Just a moment, sir.
The answer is no.